With another DJ BrewTube beer review. Like it or not, it's pumpkin beer time again. Hell yes. And from whom do we have a pumpkin beer to pour down our gullets today? We have one from Shipyard Brewing Company out of Portland, Maine, US of A. Yay, yay. And what beer do we have from them? We have their Bourbon Barrel Aged Smash Pumpkin 2015 vintage. That's right. We dug into the cellar or the hoard here, and we've got a, for stylistically, pumpkin beer, Bourbon Barrel Aged for you. That's a limited serving, clocking in at 11% ABV and 35 IBUs. For malt in this beer, they're using pale, wheat, and Munich. That's it. And for hops, they're using Willamette and Saphir. And to ferment it all, they use English ale yeast. Now, this beer has been bourbon barrel aged for 100 days. And I believe for adjuncts, they're using pumpkin, nutmeg, and I think they're probably using like cinnamon, allspice, and, you know, that kind of thing. But I know for sure pumpkin and nutmeg. So hopefully this beer will be good. It's not going to be skunky or sour. Shipyard's known to have wonky crowns in their beers, so hopefully it will taste awesome. Who knows? Whatever. It's cork and cage time. My favorite. Hopefully it won't break on me. Cellared corks, you never know. Boom. Giant hiss and pop off the top. And we have our little obsessively collectible Shipyard cork here. So let's get it in the snefta. Smells good. Wow, tons of cannon smoke still rolling off this beer. Look at that. Hell yes. Hopefully it's not going to be overcarved. It's been in the bottle for a while. Though the head's sounding really fizzy, so I don't think it's going to last super long. So let's talk about the appearance before the head goes away totally. It's a ruddy, sort of amber orange color. Totally opaque, pretty much. We got a half finger head now already of super tightly packed khaki colored bubbles. When I swirl it, we're getting tons and tons of alcohol lakes just clawing down the inside of this brew. Look at that beer. I guess if you're looking at pumpkin beer, that's where it's at. I only pretty much review Imperials these days because, like I've said in many reviews, the lower end brews below 7%, they just end up tasting like spiced water. So, it's pretty, but it better smell good too. You know what's up. So what we're going to do now, we're going to dive in for that aroma. Right off the bat, I'm getting a hit of bourbon, vanilla, nutmeg, a little bit buttery pumpkin going on in there. Getting some spices. I can't tell whether it's cinnamon or allspice. It's been in the bottle for a while. At time of recording, it's 4 years old. Man, it smells really damn nice. Bourbon's coming up on it. And as it opens up more and more, the spices, I got this at about like 50 degrees, I'd say somewhere around there. Yeah, more spicy, allspice and clove like type aroma are coming up. And the bourbon is nice and present. Vanilla, a little bit of tannic notes. There's a little tiny bit of earthiness left in there. And that buttery, pumpkin, gourdy aroma that you get with pumpkin ales. You know what? Let's dive in. Without further ado, cheers! Yum. The cork did its job. Tasty. Right up in front, you get a kick of bourbon right off the bat, which is impressive, given the fact it was only aged for 100 days. After that, I'm getting cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, some clove. It's the body's medium. Zippy, more carbonation in this beer is present than the pour would suggest, right? Decent amount of sweetness to it. There's a tiny bit of tartness in there. I don't know, this cork was a little, like, easy to pull out. I don't know if we got a little bit of extra oxidation or whatever going on. It's not an off flavor. It's just like a gourdy tartness. But if that said, if you taste pumpkin straight up out of the can, it's a little tart. I don't remember regular smashed pumpkin, which I reviewed way back in 2014. I'd probably give it like a A, I think it was, because I was digging that beer, if memory serves. I think that had a little bit of that, like, raw pumpkin taste to it as well. But as you drink it, the bourbon flavor and vanilla notes are in there. Get them a little bit of pipe tobacco. Good hit of caramel. Nice beer. Fruit and vegetable beers either are good or they suck. There's not much in between on them. This is definitely fruit and vegetable beer. Pumpkin beers are good or they suck. A lot of the pumpkin spice flavors have faded. So it's like a bourbon barrel aged strong ale kind of in flavor wise. Though the cinnamon and allspice, those spicier spices are kind of in there. Not really getting nutmeg that they call out as being in there. But wow, tasty brew just the same. Let me take one more taste. We'll give it a grade. Nice. The more I drink of it, the more and more bourbon flavor is in there, which is, like I said, is impressive considering they're calling out that they only age it for 100 days. Yum. So, let's grade it. At time of recording, Beer Advocate, who gives cumulative grades, is giving this beer 3.94 out of 5, or about like, that's like a 89, 90 for those guys, so I'm saying like A- range. And Untapped is giving this 3.83 out of 5. I'd say that's A range for those guys, given that A+ is usually about like 4.25 for them. Let me take another taste for this Cellared beer 2015 vintage. I think it's cellared really well. The 11% is completely freaking hidden. It's got good natural pumpkin flavor. I'm digging it. The more you drink it, the more the bourbon comes on. I'm going to go, cellared beer. I want for a little more sweetness that's in there, so I'm going to go just in the A range. I'm going to go 94. Tasty brew, has cellared like a champ. If you get one with a tighter cork, maybe there'll be more sweetness in there and less of that gourdy tartness from the pumpkin, but not sour or off in any way of that nature. So, just a little bit more oxidation than I thought may happen, but hey, when you cellar a beer, that's the dice you're rolling. So, have you had Shipyard Brewing Company's Bourbon Barrel Aged Smash Pumpkin, any vintage? Maybe you've had 2015. Let me know what you know, because I like to quit broke well and the back and forth. I also really, really dig it when you think locally, drink locally, and support the craft beer movement. And it is exceedingly cool when you do me a great big favor and you rate, comment, subscribe, especially if this is your first time with us. And if you can get around to it, maybe consider helping me push those Google metrics up in the stratosphere by doing what? You know what you gotta do. You know the drill. You gotta smash, like smashed pumpkin, that like button. So, to the next DJs BrewTube, I got nothing but a hell of a bunch of bourbon barrel aged smash pumpkin 2015 vintage drinking love for you. And you know what's coming for you by now. Oh yes, that's right. A big peace out!